Hello, my name is Salvador St. Louis, and today I'm going to be talking about kaolin and kaolinite, what the mineral is, how the mineral is processed, how the mineral is formed, and important uses of the mineral. Kaolin is a type of clay, and it's a primary mineral in kaolinite, obviously. The material may seem simple, but it plays a huge role in industries like ceramics, paper, medicine, and even plastics, which are all still very important in the modern day. And at the end, you'll see how something as common as clay can become a critical material in everyday products, just like other types of ceramics. What is kaolin or kaolinite? Well, it's a naturally occurring clay mineral, and it's the main component in kaolin clay. It's known for having a really soft, white, and earthy texture, which is part of the reason why it plays such a good role as a ceramic. Due to its unique chemical structure, layered of silicate minerals, mostly with aluminum, silicon, oxygen, and hydrogen, and because of its specific structure, it has low shrinkage, low plasticity, high heat resistance, which is all very good and desired in ceramics. Something else that makes it really valuable as a ceramic and valuable in general is that its whiteness. It retains its whiteness very well when it's fired, so that helps make a cleaner looking ceramic when the process is said and done. Formation and excavation. Kaolin only forms in tropical and subtropical climates where there's heavy rainfall and warm temperatures. That is because those conditions promote chemical weathering that is needed to make this mineral. Specifically, it forms when aluminum-rich rocks like feldspar receive lots of rainwater and undergo a chemical change that strips the soluble elements like sodium from the material and leaves only the minerals that will produce kaolin. This process usually happens over a long time and requires stable conditions, much like oil, where it has to be underground and then under pressure, the right materials for a long, long time to be produced. It's mostly found in regions like the southeastern United States and Brazil and parts of Asia. When it's being excavated, they must first remove all the excess dirt and vegetation until you're able to find the Kaolinite deposit. Then they bring in the crew to excavate it. You know, they have bulldozers, excavators, front end loaders. There's obviously going to be dump trucks, vehicles of that nature. Nothing too specific for mining it. And when they're done, they end up with crude kaolin, which has the kaolin made for kaolinite, but it also has other unwanted minerals like quartz, mica, iron oxides, and of course dirt. Processing and manufacturing steps. Now, once we have the crude kaolin excavated, it still needs to be processed and refined into a usable industry material. The first step in that process is called blunging. They use a machine called a blunger, funny name, and they put the crude kaolin and mix it in with water to create a slurry. And this machine is meant to make it all one homogeneous mixture where there's no big lumps of dry clay that'll mess up during manufacturing later. Once the mixture has been blunged and made into a thick paste, it can be screened and refined even further. They put the mix through different size screens, machines like hydrocyclones and centrifuges in order to remove coarse impurities and make the mineral more fine and smaller. The next step that they do is magnetic separation, where they use a powerful magnet to suck up and to sort out any possible lingering iron contaminants. If this process isn't done, it can end up with a less white final product, which isn't desired for kaolin or ceramics or paper. And the final step is dewatering and drying. Hopefully that's on the presentation line. What is that? They put it through certain filters and dry it into a sort of thick cake-like substance, and it removes all the excess water and leaves only thick kaolin chunks, where that can be used later in manufacturing for a variety of things. Historic applications of kaolin. Now, kaolin has a history that goes back thousands of years, especially for its use as a ceramic, but it was first discovered in ancient China, and that's where the name is derived from. It comes from a Chinese term that means high ridge, which is the region where the clay was first mined at. Porcelain made from kaolin is especially valuable because it's strong, it's very white, and it could be shaped into much thinner and delicate forms, and more delicate forms, leading to more beautiful and less bulky artwork. Outside of its use as strictly pottery and fine china and things of that nature, it also saw use in paints as a filler material to make it thicker and stick better, and even as a traditional stomach medicine. Modern day applications of kaolin. Kaolin still has a wide variety of uses in different sorts of industries, even today. The first of noteworthiness is as a coating pigment for paper, meant to enhance its smoothness and its ability to be printed, and it's also why certain magazines feel so smooth to the touch. Due to its high heat resistance and strength, it still sees plenty of use as a ceramic in porcelain. Things like floor tiles and sanitary ware like sinks and toilets, those still use kaolinite due to their exceptional whiteness, strength, and heat resilience. Kaolin also still sees some use in the paint industry to help reduce wear and improve opacity and durability on paint, even making it stick and spread better when added. More modern, the plastic and rubber industry, kaolin still finds use in that, being used as a filler, which ends up reducing costs while improving strength and durability. For example, it's often used in car parts, durable packaging, and certain household objects meant for cleaning. Kaolin also still has use in medicine once again as a stomach aid meant to be an anti-diarrheal agent which absorbs the toxins and soothes the digestive system. Another thing it's used to make nowadays is toothpaste, where it's thrown in as a mild abrasive or to add grit to the toothpaste you use. Final honorable mention is its use as an electrical insulator in some advanced bits of technology where other ceramics could be used. In conclusion, kaolinite may seem like a simple clay, but from its formation to its manufacture, it's an interesting and long process. From chemical weathering in only specific regions to being excavated through heavy machinery and then refined through steps like plunging, screening, and drying, magnetic separation, you end up going from just some dirt to a extremely useful and versatile material. From past uses as ceramics, paint, and medicine, we see those still transfer over to the modern day while also being added to things like plastics and toothpastes and our advancements in cosmetics and things of that nature. Overall, kaolin is a great example of how a natural resource can be transformed into a wide range of useful products that we can rely on every day, even without realizing it.